Hello and welcome to today's video. It's the first video on this channel and it's an interesting one. I will be speaking with a Nigerian native by the name of Pumokumo Tiemo. He will be speaking on SARS, government corruption and the environmental devastation courtesy of the oil industry. Of course, this is my first video, so the editing isn't the best and there was a lot of times where the connection drops because it's a connection from Nigeria to the UK, it's not the strongest. Also, try not to stare at me for too long. I look like I want to murder a family of 5. I hope you can listen to this video and enjoy it and take a message from it. Thank you. Okay, so we're recording now. Obviously last time we spoke we discussed SARS and that, but obviously the audio didn't record, so would we be able to start from the beginning again and explain what the problem in Nigeria is?
Okay. First of all, my name's Tiemo. Pumokumo. I'm from the Jos-speaking tribe of Niger Delta region in the present-day Nigeria. One who spoke last, I tried to tell you that the problem is not just about SARS. It has a lot more to do with injustice. It has more to do with inequality, lack of equity, lack of fairness in the Nigerian state. Although these challenges are not new, they got a lot more severe within the last few years, and people could not cope anymore. Hence, you see the hashtag #EndSARS. #EndSARS is a reflection of the many wrongs being done in the country. It is a reflection of the pain of the people. It's a reflection of mostly those who are more enlightened in the country, the youths who are more educated, not like used to be in the old days where people don't go to school much. Now they are a lot more exposed, more enlightened, more educated. They have more access to the Western world, global community. They have more information of how life should be in other places. So they want the same thing happening here in Nigeria. They want a better country. That's basically what is happening.
Okay. So where do the problems come from? Obviously, the oil industry, as you were saying, wrecked your habitat. So what's happened there with the oil industry?
Repeat the question.
So how has the oil industry affected your area?
Okay, fine. Basically, Nigeria is over 95% sustained on oil production. The economy of the country is based on oil production. I want to believe the unity of this country was based on the same oil production, because from the beginning, from the history we know about, Nigeria was amalgamated, the Northern Protectorate and the Southern Protectorate, of which the word used was for easy administration for the then colonial British government in charge of Nigeria. They formed the country on that basis, but till this day, it seems things go one-sided, and only a few persons are meant to bear the pain, the negative effects of oil exploration in the country. The Niger Delta region is left to suffer the consequences of oil exploration alone. There is no cut-out sharing formula to say, okay, this is for the development of the region. After a lot of struggles, agitations, militancy, at the point the government decided to give 13% derivation to the states. 13% derivation does not end up being 13%. It's not even up to 3%, because they remove so many charges. So many hidden charges are paid from that money before it is sent down to the states in terms of 13% derivation. When it gets to the states, the areas producing the oil or crude oil, they are not taken as priority. 30% derivation is taken by the state governors as a form of their benefit. The winner takes it all. They have won elections, they are in power, whatever comes to them, and they use the way they like. That is why the oil producing communities are still impoverished, they are still marginalized, they are still suffering. They still don't have access to good drinking water, they don't have roads, they don't have power supply. Till this day, as we speak, where I come from, my own community, there is no power supply. There is no, it's not connected to the national grid. You don't see electric wires connected to where everybody gets power from in the country, except you are able to buy a generator on your own, or you get power supply from the companies working nearby, which is never constant. They give for a few hours of some days. People go weeks and months without light. To make things worse, the environment is devastated. There is no more means of living in terms of survival, making a living for the people. The economic trees are gone. The fishes that used to be in for my people, what they do is fishing as their form of agriculture. But now you can't find those fishes anymore. The oil pollution, the poor methods used by the oil companies in carrying out their drilling activities has affected the environment seriously, and nobody can be held accountable because the company is like a god in Nigeria. Since they produce the economy for the country, then they have strong international external influence because these companies are owned by either Britain, America, or Italy. With Chevron, I know is America, Shell is Britain, RGP is Italy. There are many more of that kind working in.
We're back. So before we lost connection, I was asking, how would you like to see your community improved, and what do you think should be done to help?
First of all, as we speak, there's a law in this country. Anything that has to do with mining, whatever resources belongs to the government. You may own the land, it may be in your own house, under your house, it belongs to the government. So you don't have authority over it. There's no percentage going to those who own these resources. There's no percentage going to those environments where these resources are being taken from, where the oil drilling is taking place. If there was a good percentage going to the communities who own the crude, then they will be able to checkmate, they will have the financial capability to checkmate the devastation caused by the oil exploration. They will be able to employ technical services, employ a good environmentalist, employ good representation, legal representation, to make sure that they are protecting their environment. And where there needs to be remediation, it has to be done. Like the lost economic trees and all that, it should be a process of getting them back, which the government is obviously not concerned about, because all we hear about these things are on the news, and they've deliberating for so many years with no solution. There should be a change in the constitution of the country. There has to be a change in the constitution of the country. They have to do. We have been agitating for restructuring. There are those who want restructuring. There are those who want the country to break up because they have given up on the country. So they don't want restructuring. They want it to just break so they can go their separate ways. I have my people, many, who believe that the country should break up. There are times I also give up on this same country because nothing seems to work. When you deny the right of the people, you don't care how they survive. All they are concerned about is the monthly allocation that will be shared around the various states all over the country. Then to the government officials, their personal interest, that is what they care about. And it's a big problem. Here are 36 in this country, only 9 of those states produce oil, crude oil. These 9 states will have to take care of 36 states, including the debts they borrow, the money they spend on insurgency. Some even promote terrorism with the money because they are funding Boko Haram. Boko Haram means no to Western civilization. It means no to the technology we are using right now. It means no to global development. Mostly, let me talk about how the country is structured. There are those who benefit from the status quo. Those who believe everything should be constant. Like now, is a country of 2 major religions. You have the North, mostly Muslims, then the South, mostly Christian. Over in the North, they have what they call the Sharia law. You have the Sharia police, you have the Sharia courts. Just some days back, they destroyed alcohol valued over 200 million because it's against the Sharia law or the Muslim law they practice. They have their own courts, they have their own judiciary. So the system seems to favor them. They don't want any change in that. So that is how the laws operate, whereby the oil producing communities are marginalized, and that system has to be retained for the benefit of people who are not from oil producing communities, but they must sustain from the system. So what is happening is this: everybody is being insensitive. If you are not putting on the shoes, you don't feel the pain. So all you want to know is that there should be money coming out every month. You don't care whoever is bearing the pain. You don't care who is suffering. They don't care about the light problem, the water problem, the starvation, and all the negative vices that comes with the oil exploration taking place right now. The environmental degradation is terrible. It's not a good sight to see. I'm not proud of where I come from. When I go to my community, I'm not proud of the place because it's not nice for the eyes to see. When I was a little bit younger, it was beautiful. It was a nice place to be. The water was good and fresh, but now it's not something I want to see. I can't stay there for long. I stay a few days and I run away. That's not good. So basically, increase the revenue for those who own this environment, those who live in the environment, not for the state, for the people living in the environment. There should be genuine effort in the side of government to change all they are going through. It's really bad.
So, could you, obviously, we understand that there's the military unit called SARS. Could you go into a bit of detail about that, please?
The institution of SARS is, to me, is a national and international embarrassment. The government, obviously, they are trying to paint it in a good picture. They are trying to cover up the atrocities of the armed forces, the military, the police. There's no country want to expose the shortcomings of their military and armed forces. They want to cover the illegalities taking place. But this is bad when people are killed at will, when there are extrajudicial killings, when people are killed without trial, without going to court, just shot because they are judged instantly by their look, or maybe they don't like their face. When they are killed just like that is a problem. I have faced the same challenge. If you check my name on Google, you will see a situation where my car was shot at by the police force. It is there for you to see. Once you put my name there, you see it. And I just, by God's grace, I survived that, but it's terrible. I've had other experiences that are not good. I've had a situation where I'm on the road traveling from River State to Abia State. A policeman team stopped me. They noticed I was carrying money. I wanted to buy some household things for my new place I just moved into in River State then. Checked my papers and license, they were correct. The next thing, we should go to the station. They got to the station, put me in the cell for some hours, brought me out, put me back in their police truck, drove towards a certain road I don't know about, stopped in the middle of nowhere, and told me that if I'm aware they can kill me here, and nobody will hear about it. Nobody will even find me. So they advised me to drop the money with me and start going back to where I'm coming from, which I did quietly and left. When I got to the next checkpoint, I laid the complaint with them. This is what happened to me just some few minutes back. They told me to go home and thank my God that I'm alive and don't speak about it anymore. So when you talk about such issues, your life is not safe. So you rather keep quiet. That's why you see many people don't talk about them. You can see presently those who protested in the SARS movement against injustice and the killing of innocent citizens. They are being labeled criminal as we speak. They are being haunted. One of them has gone to get asylum in Canada. They call that one Jesus Wish. Many others are being listed to be tried for various offenses as terrorists. They're instigating violence and all that. That's not how things are meant to work. People who speak out are threatened, they are killed, they are silenced, they could get missed.
Okay, so could you continue to speak about SARS, please? We lost connection again.
Okay. Those who came out protesting peacefully, first of all, another group was sponsored, which many believe by the government, because nobody else will try to cover the injustice, the killing by the security agencies than the government agents. Another group was sponsored and they called them pro-SARS. This group started to attack the peaceful protesters, burn their cars, break and destroy their properties, chase them off the road. The police were brutal on them. At the point, they want, okay, let's go to what happened last that put these old protesters into hiding. They went to protest at Lekki toll gate in Lagos. When night came, the street lights went off. The next thing was gunshots on the protesters. Many were injured, others died. Some others can't even come out. They are treating themselves in hiding. Like I said, some other ones are running out of the country. One is in Canada right now, holding and giving press interviews over there on what she has been through and how she managed to survive, for asking for justice and fighting for the rights of citizens who don't have a voice. So basically, the NSAS protest was turned into a violent protest because people got aggrieved when they saw the killing of their fellow youths for doing nothing. So a lot is going wrong, and those who speak on it, they speak with a lot of courage. When you finish talking, you can find yourself on the wrong side of the government, and anything can be used against you. If you get missing, that is your business. If you're being prosecuted, you're on your own. The international community, basically, I think they have not shown enough concern about what is happening in Nigeria. If things go worse than this, the crisis, economic crisis, humanitarian problem will be much for the world to handle. Nigeria is the biggest black nation If there should be a humanitarian crisis in this country, it would be terrible. People are becoming more and more impatient, both the old and young. They are tired of living this way. They want a better life. They are tired of called names outside the country just because their leaders will not allow the country grow to be the best it can. This is a place where terrorists are given pardon. Terrorists are released free after being caught and given money. Why those who protest peacefully are labeled criminals, labeled terrorists, are being chased, are not able to move freely. So it's a problem that needs to be checked. The government has to wake up to responsibility and do what is right.
So, recently in the UK, there was 4 Nigerians who stowed away aboard a boat. Is that a common thing? Is that an issue, or is that a one-off? Do you believe?
Repeat, I don't get it.
So, in the UK, they found 4 Nigerians who had got onto a boat and hid and was headed for the UK. Is that does that happen often, or?
Yes, there are many who want to leave this country if they have a chance. I think for the first time in so many years, I thought about leaving this country. For the first time, because when the truth is being turned upside down before the eyes of everyone is a problem. When the truth is being made to seem like a lie, and the lie is being made to seem like the truth, it is a problem. All to confuse and convince the international community that all is well. All to make peaceful protesters be like the bad people. It is a problem. I have seen a situation where someone had his brother who died on the route to Italy, going through the road and waterways, which is tedious and not safe, illegally. His brother died, and he told me the next weekend he's going himself. I told you, your brother just died. Come, you're going on the same trip. He said his brother's luck. That was his brother's luck. His own luck will be different. So it's terrible when we have graduates, we have people with innovations, we have people with technical capacity. They are being tied down in a system that choose not to be productive. Some people believe there should be no innovation. They don't want to develop the capacity of the youth. We have so many unemployed youths. They went to school, they had their degrees because they want to work, not because they want to use it for criminality. But they end up being frustrated. The frustration level is so high, and the hunger level in the country now is terrible. A lot of people are begging to survive, and we should not be. Most of the girls who stand on the road as prostitutes in Nigeria, I can tell you 70% are with BSc degree and masters. It is terrible for someone to go to school for so many years. The school system takes over 6 to 7 years. When you graduate, you don't get a job. Then you see innocent girls selling themselves for money on the streets. It's really bad.
So, of course, there's Nigerian pirates, but is that because of the lack of jobs and frustration among the community?
Yes, that is because of that. You see, when these protests got to an extent, people were breaking into warehouses where foods are being kept. Those palliatives of foods were donated both by international community and the government, given to the various states to share to the populace to enable them cope with the lockdown, lack of movement, and starvation. These people refused to share these palliatives. They kept them in big warehouses. People discovered them during the protests and started breaking into these places, and there was a rampage. It was terrible. People getting injured, people losing their lives just because they want to get some food and take home. So the government they've not been accountable. A government who is accountable will not spend so many billions getting food in a situation like COVID-19. where the whole world is tied down and passing through the pain, then they choose to hoard this food. They choose to hoard the palliatives. They choose to starve the people. That is very bad, and that's terrible. It's very bad. It took a protest to discover where these things were being hidden. It's not good. It's really frustrating.
So I don't have any more questions really. Was there anything you'd just like to say? Yeah, anything?
Well, we want to believe no matter what happens, there's hope. And it is the concern of everybody living in it's a global world already. So it's not like before, it's a global world. Whatever affects Nigeria will affect the whole world one way or the other. You will have people looking for every means possible to live. There will be more illegality. There will be more cybercrime. There will be more desperation amongst the people. It may turn out to a full-blown war, and there could be a humanitarian crisis. This level of injustice must be checked. United Nations should live up to their mandate. They should live up to their name. Amnesty International has been crying for a long time that they are being threatened in this country. They've been crying about the injustice in this country. People are keeping a deaf ear to these problems. It's not helping the people. The government itself will have to change their policies. They have to be more innovative. They have to be more creative. They have to have better initiative. When people are not terrorists, all they ask for is human rights and dignity. They should not be labeled terrorists. Then those who are terrorists being rewarded turns out to be a bad system. There are those who have ideas but are not supported. They should be supported. These ideas should be enhanced, and they should create more jobs, industrialization. There should be more policies that are developmental. The police system should be restructured to serve the people better. If they are not being taken care of, maybe the welfare of the policemen are bad, then they should make it better. But nevertheless, whatever happens, injustice should not be allowed. It can never help anybody. Everybody feels the pain cut across the whole country, except those who have chosen to say no to Western civilization, those who have chosen to say no to global civilization, those who do not want to see development around them, who want to stick to the old ways. They want to stick to the old orders like their forefathers. Maybe they feel they cannot compete with the Western world or the regular society, so they want to tie the country down. Unfortunately, as we speak, they are majority in this country. The southern and the northern Nigeria are two distinct people. Some believe in Sharia law. Some believe in the due legal process. There are many challenges we have to outline to solve the problem of Nigeria. But nevertheless, we need people to pay attention to this country. Thank you.
Thank you. So that was a very important message, and I hope that through this video we can raise awareness. So thanks for the interview. And
Thank you.
I'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.
Fine, anytime.
Anytime. Bye. Thank you for watching. If you could like and subscribe, that would be great, as I've got a lot more projects and a lot more interesting things coming up. I'll have my Facebook page, there's a link in the bottom, and his. So please give them both a follow, and be sure to keep an eye out for things that we are both doing and support the cause. Thank you.